let's be honest, does it feel like your ability to just sit down and focus on one thing is getting worse? Like your brain is being pulled in a million directions all at once? Well, you're not imagining it. And I'm here to tell you, it's not really your fault. You know the feeling, right? You grab your phone to do something super simple, maybe check the weather or reply to a quick message. And the next thing you know, a whole half hour has vanished. You kind of snap out of a daze, and you're deep in some weird corner of the internet with absolutely no idea how you even got there. If that sounds even vaguely familiar, you need to hear this and hear it loud and clear. That feeling of losing control, it isn't some kind of personal failure. It is not your fault. It is absolutely 100% by design. The truth is, our attention is literally under attack. See, your ability to focus, to pay attention, is an incredibly valuable resource. And right now, there are powerful forces out there whose entire business model is to mine it for profit. To really get what's happening, we've got to stop thinking about attention as something you either have or you don't. A better way to think about it is, it's a muscle. It's a mental skill that you can actually train. And just like any other muscle, if you don't use it, it gets weak, it gets tired easily, it has zero endurance. But if you train it, it gets stronger, it builds stamina. And, this is key, it gets way better at recovering when it gets pulled off track. You see, we are living smack in the middle of a massive multi-trillion-dollar economic system that has really just one goal: to capture every single spare moment of your attention, bundle it up, and sell it off to advertisers. In this whole game, you're not the customer. Your attention is the product. So, how do they do it? How does this machine actually work? Well, it's all about exploiting the ancient reward system that's hardwired into your brain. It all boils down to this incredibly powerful cycle called the distraction loop. It starts with expectation, that little thought, ooh, what's new on my feed? Then comes uncertainty. It could be something amazing. And then boom, you get a random reward. A hilarious video, a juicy piece of gossip. That gives your brain a little hit of dopamine. And that feeling makes you want to do it all over again. It is the exact same principle that makes a slot machine in Vegas so addictive. And this is the part that is so important to understand. Our brains aren't really addicted to the funny video or the interesting article. No, they're addicted to the possibility of getting it. It's the endless scroll, the maybe of what might come next. That's the hook that keeps us trapped. Okay, so that's the problem. And yeah, it's a big one. But here's the good news. We are not powerless. So let's talk about what we can actually do. Let's talk about how to start training that mental muscle. First things first, we need to change the goal. This isn't about becoming some kind of Zen master who never gets distracted. I mean, that's impossible. The real skill, the thing we're aiming for, is just getting better and better at noticing when you're distracted and then gently bringing your focus back. Because that simple act, that is the whole exercise. Think of it like this. Every single time you catch your mind wandering and you pull it back to what you are doing, that's one rep. You are literally doing a bicep curl for your brain. So, what does a workout plan look like? It's probably a lot simpler than you think. Try reading an actual physical book for 30 minutes. No phone in the room. Or practice an instrument. Have a real conversation with a friend where you both agree to put your phones away. You could paint or draw or build something. Or maybe the most powerful workout of all, just sit still for a few minutes and do nothing but pay attention to the feelings in your body. All right, let's tackle another big myth we've all been sold. This one's about rest. We've been convinced that zoning out on our phones or binge watching a show is how we relax. It's not. There's a massive difference between what we could call false rest and true rest. False rest is just passively consuming stuff, like scrolling through a feed. It feels easy, but it actually just makes your brain more tired. True rest, on the other hand, is an active shift. It's switching from a brain-heavy task to a physical one, like taking a walk. It's doing something with your hands. One drains you, the other actually recharges you. So remember this, real, restorative rest isn't about just stopping everything. It's about being smart and strategically shifting your mind to a different kind of activity to give the overworked parts of your brain an actual break. Now, let's zoom all the way out, because this whole conversation is about so much more than just being more productive or feeling a little less stressed. The stakes are actually way, way higher. The health of our individual attention is directly tied to the health of our society as a whole. There's a really powerful analogy for this. A society that is constantly distracted is like a bunch of fish in a fish farm. Sure, they're kept alive, they're fed, but they only exist for someone else's profit. They have no real freedom, no real control over their own lives. And that's the real danger here. A population that can't hold its focus on big, complex, long-term problems like climate change or economic inequality becomes incredibly easy to manage with the constant IV drip of short-term rewards and emotional distractions. But that doesn't mean we should just give up. It just means we have to be crystal clear about where change actually comes from. It doesn't start out there with some big, vague thing called society. It starts right here. It starts with you. So, I'm going to leave you with a question. This isn't about changing your entire life overnight. It's just about starting the training, one rep at a time. So, what is the one thing you are going to do today to train your focus?